Hey everybody, David here, and today I want to talk about the Book of Boba Fett, Chapter 6, From the Desert Comes a Stranger, and wow, two episodes in a row where I was like, wow, this is great. I am loving everything in this episode. Everything that was shown to me, I was like through the roof. And once again, it's an episode that doesn't focus on Boba Fett, which is kind of making me wonder. Are the best episodes of the Book of Boba Fett not going to be focused on Boba Fett? I don't know. So it looks like it so far. Boba Fett only shows up for a brief period of time in this one, unlike last week's episode where he didn't show up at all. But mostly the main focus is with Luke, Grogu, I would say the Mandalorian as well. I think even, what was his name? Cobb Vanth from, I told you he'd show up in this season, where he showed up in the beginning of The Mandalorian season 2. Yeah, so much greatness in this episode. And I didn't even get to the big reveal cameo in this episode yet that my mind was blown. First of all, let me talk about the CGI. The CGI in this show for last week's episode and now this week's episode was outstanding. Yes, we get to see Luke Skywalker again training Grogu. But let me tell you, when the de-aging part, in the Mandalorian season finale of season 2, when they brought Luke in, the de-aging technology, the de-aging of Luke in that episode didn't look quite as good. And it was funny because Peyton Reed directed that episode. And Peyton Reed is the director of the Ant-Man movies, right? 1 and 2. And the CGI the de-aging on Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer in both of those Ant-Man movies looked amazing. So I thought, how come it doesn't look as good as those two movies? But this episode of the Book of Boba Fett, Luke, it was crazy sometimes. I had to blink a couple of times to really make sure, this is CGI, right? Because for most of the episode, there were maybe a few moments, okay, yeah, I can tell that's CGI. But most of it was this is like Mark Hamill de-aged. This is crazy. How did they do this? I know how they did it, but it looked so good in this episode that there were times I had to remind myself, yeah, David, this is not Mark Hamill. This is, they probably got the same stunt double who cameoed in the episode before as one of the new Rebellion pilots, and got him back to do the double for Mark Hamill. They probably got Mark Hamill back to stand in as well, like how they did last time. If you guys watched the behind the scenes of Mandalorian season 2 finale, the Star Wars gallery, that it shows how they pulled that scene off. And it's probably very similar again, but it looked so much better this time around. And I was losing my mind over it. I love technology when technology is used right. And man, it was really well done in this episode, almost to a T, perfection. I was amazed. And getting to see Luke train Grogu was amazing. It was great seeing a little bit of that because we never got to see any of that in the new trilogy. So getting to see that here is pretty cool. Now, the question that a lot of people are going to be asking themselves, how the episode ends, Mandalorian comes to the planet. By the way, the Ahsoka appearance was because I don't think that was even rumored to happen, that Ahsoka would appear in the Book of Boba Fett. If it was, that was a rumor that I missed out on, and but I wasn't expecting it. So when she showed up, it was like, what? And she already knows Luke. Her and Luke already have a connection together, which was really cool. I think a lot of people really wanted to see that. I was worried we weren't going to get a reaction, an interaction between the two of them, but we actually do. We get a really nice little interaction at one moment in the episode, which was really cool. Will we see them come together again? As Ahsoka Tano says, perhaps. So it was really nice getting to see the son of Anakin Skywalker and the Padawan of Anakin Skywalker talking together for the first time. I was kind of hoping for an Anakin cameo, but okay, we can wait we can wait for the Ahsoka series to give us that. But man, that means, Luke could show up anytime someone needs him. And I don't want them to overuse his stay in the show. These shows shouldn't be about Luke. But if they can find a way to bring him in, a reasonable way to bring him in, then I say go for it. And I can see the Ahsoka series bringing him back. I don't know about this series, but let's get back on Grogu. So at the end of this episode, because Mando came and he wanted to give him the gift and he wanted to take him home too, but Ahsoka talked him out of it. Luke at the end gives him Grogu a choice. He lays down the gift from Mando, and he shows Yoda's lightsaber, which I'm like, what? The geek in me, Yoda had that lightsaber obviously in the prequels. There's so much prequel fan service in these last two episodes. It's like, I like the prequels. I was always someone that enjoyed the prequels. So to see Yoda's little lightsaber, and then Mando had a little vest. It reminded me of, the vest Bilbo Baggins gives to Frodo in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It kind of reminded me of that. A metal vest that can protect him in battles. Luke lets him decide, but he says, look, if you go with the vest that Din Djarin gave you, you can go with him, but then I'm not going to train you anymore. But if you pick the lightsaber, Yoda's lightsaber, which I'm like, oh man, this is like, I don't even know what to choose. I would probably pick Yoda's lightsaber. But yeah, he lays it out and said, if you pick Yoda's lightsaber, then I'll continue training you, but then you'll probably never see Din Djarin ever again. And it ends like that. The episode ends with the choice, and we don't see this choice Grogu makes. I will be shocked if they have him staying with Luke, but I wouldn't be shocked. Which I think that's going to be the way they will go, with him picking Mando and not being trained anymore. He learned all he can, maybe. Well, okay, he can't have learned everything, but he's an inexperienced Jedi. But I think he's learned a little bit where he can, like, he already jumps around and all that. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where they decide to take this. Maybe next week. Maybe they won't reveal it until The Mandalorian Season 3. I have no idea, but it was great. It was great seeing Grogu again. It was great seeing Luke again. It was great seeing Ahsoka Tano again, and having all that stuff. The Cobb Vanth stuff was cool, especially when we get to the cameo from, I'm just going to say it, Cad Bane. Cad Bane shows up in this episode, and he has a standoff with Cobb Vanth after having a discussion with the Mandalorian who comes to see him because, like, yeah, we're going to need more men to come help in this war that's coming with the Pike Syndicate. But it looks like Cad Bane is working with the Pike Syndicate from my understanding, because he's like, hey, you better leave the Pike Syndicate alone, and the sand is theirs, whatever, the spice is theirs. So, and it looks like he even killed Cobb Vanth, sorry. And it was funny because when it showed him from a far distance before it's the big reveal, I was thinking to myself, oh, that's Cad Bane. Because I could see a little bit of the blue in the face, a little bit. And so when he comes closer and closer, and finally he's there, and you see this blue face at the bottom, I don't care what the hat was hiding his eyes. You already know. If you're a fan of the Clone Wars animated series, you know who this is. And I believe that was Corey Burton who did the voice of it, who did the voice in the Clone Wars animated series. I don't remember if Cad Bane returned in Rebels, but anyways, I know for sure he was a character that a lot of fans really liked in the Clone Wars animated series. And to see him in live action, once again, the CGI looking fantastic on this character was amazing. Yeah, that's the thing I think a lot of people are going to be talking about today. Cad Bane showing up in The Mandalorian. I mean, in the Book of Boba Fett. It feels like a Mandalorian episode, personally. But yeah, it was great. The episode in general was great. I don't know what they're going to do next week. On IMDb, it says episode 7 is going to be the last one, so I don't know if it's going to be 7 or 8 episodes. But let's say, okay, 7 is going to be the last one. I don't know how this episode is going to end. I don't even know what Boba Fett is going after the Syndicate for. They didn't really make it loud and clear. Is it just for the spice? Or is there something more? We know this great war is coming. But I'm curious on how it's all going to play out. I'm curious if Grogu's going to show up in the last episode, because let's face it, he's going to pick Mando over being a Jedi, which I would think, Grogu, you're dumb. I'm sorry to little Grogu. I get it. You love him. He's your father, sort of. But I would have picked Yoda's lightsaber over the stupid shirt. Lots of people that are going to love that gift are going to praise Grogu for picking that one. But me, I would have said, no, Yoda's lightsaber was the way to go. Luke would have gotten me right there. I would have said, oh, vest versus Yoda's lightsaber? Throw the vest in the garbage. Some people are probably thinking right now, David, that's bad. Yeah, so there you go, guys. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. Is there anything I missed out on that I should have mentioned in this review? Tell me if you saw the episode already. Yeah, these last 2 episodes, easily the best episodes of The Mandalorian. I'm curious if next week's episode is the finale, how it's going to all wrap up, and I'm excited to see that. Other than that, yeah, no theories or anything like that, other than I'm looking forward to what's to come. So with that being said, guys, comment below, like this video, please. All of that helps the channel get more attention. And with that being said, until next time, take care.